Okay, let us get started with actual functional testing part of software testing. Again, this is a series of sessions which will span more than, I would say, even 10-15 sessions purely on functional testing. We will explain the processes with examples, right? Then we will have separate sessions on non-functional testing also. In fact, a few people have asked here, can you test a Java program, and I do not know Java, then how can I test, right? This is a typical question that people ask. Let me ask you this question. I am giving you a mobile phone. Can you quickly insert a SIM card and test the features of the mobile phone? Yes, people say yes, because you know what it is supposed to do, right? You know what it is supposed to do, and you do that. You expect that as an outcome. If the expectation and the actual outcome are different, then you say it's not working properly. If they are same, then you say yeah, it's good. But you do not know electronics, you do not know how to manufacture a mobile phone, you do not know how GSM network works, still you tested it. So if you are given an item or an object, if you know what it is supposed to do based on some inputs, so you have got some input, then it has to do some process and you are expecting some output. If you know the logic of the process, you do not know actually how the process is implemented. Is it done in Java? Is it done in software, in C++? You need not know. But if you know the logic, how the input should be converted to output, that you can test, right? This is typically called black box testing. Black box testing meaning you do not see inside. You do not see inside. It's like a general physician, right? A general physician looks at the symptoms, right? If you say I have got fever, 102 degrees Fahrenheit, and sore throat, body pain, right? Chances are there that it may be a flu or it may be a H1N1 flu, right? So the symptoms typically show. Okay, if you say I have nausea and I have a stomach upset, obviously yes, the symptom shows there is something wrong in your stomach, right? So typically the symptoms can give you an indication what is happening inside your body. So typically the physicians take the stethoscope and the thermometer, blood pressure instruments, diabetes instrument, right? Seeing the external symptoms especially, and treat. This is, in fact, most of the people in the medicine field are general physicians. The dentists, the ophthalmologists, the cardiac surgeons, there are less compared to the general physicians, because most of the diseases are common that can be found out using symptoms that can be treated quickly. So black box testing is like that. You can see the external symptoms by giving some inputs, then treat that. But a simple example is once I had ear pain. Okay, I went to the doctor. The doctor didn't even ask me a question: which ear is paining, where is it paining, right? Okay, I just said, doctor, I have a pain in my ear. That's it. He asked me to sit down. Then he pushed my left ear. I didn't say anything. Then he pushed my left ear downwards. I didn't say anything. Right ear. I didn't say anything. Then he pushed my right ear to the upper side. Then I said, ah, right? That means there is something wrong. The doctor knows, okay? If you move the ear to the left or right or top or bottom, he can indicate where the inflammation is. So he is able to figure out where it is. External input he gave, and with the symptom that I showed, he found out where the problem is. That's typically a black box testing. When we say testing, it means system testing. Most of the time it means black box testing. I hope this is clear, right? Now we are getting a slightly deeper insight of what testing is in black box. In fact, one person here is asking what there is if there is a black box, what about the opposite? The opposite is white box. Okay, white box testing meaning you need to see inside, right? When you have to see the inside, it's like a surgeon, right? Doctor, I have a headache. Immediately if the doctor opens your head, right, it's a problem, right? So you see surgeons very less compared to general physicians, but surgery is required when there is a problem which cannot be cured externally, right? Same way in software also we have something similar to the surgery that is called white box testing. White box testing is go through the code and test it, right? So in case of doing a white box testing of a C++ application, you need to know C++. You need to know the internals. Typically, all developers are white box testers, right? Every developer writes the code. Developer knows the code. That means he or she knows the internals of the code and they test it. That is called white box testing. Typically in white box testing, you will use something called a debugger, right? Using this, you can say go through line by line, right? And watch the variables. How each variable is storing the value. In line number 17, what was the value? In line number 19, what was the value? Right? Everything you can check. Typically, you will see the features like step in, step out, then breakpoint, right? Watch variables. So it's like you getting into the code. A doctor is doing a surgery and then he sees the internal. And he has got a light, he has got a lens, right? In fact, you could see a lot of recorded surgeries in YouTube where you can see internal organs are monitored using light rays and microscopes, right? Lenses, special cameras. Based on that they treat, right? But white box is always a little bit time consuming because you need to know both technology as well as functionality. In black box, it is enough if you know the functionality, need not know the technology. And white box testing, it happens definitely in unit testing level because at the time every developer does coding and unit testing. This unit testing is invariably a white box testing. But when you simply say white box testing separately, that means say developer A develops some code, I am putting another developer B to test this guy's code. Put an independent person even to test that code. That is typically a white box testing. So you have got based on external symptoms, if you test, it is black box testing. Based on internals of the code using debuggers and special instruments. When I say instruments, it's not a physical object. There are something called instrumenting softwares, right? They are also known as profilers, right? Or instrumenting agents, right? They go through the memory, they go through the code, they analyze everything, they provide internal details, right? So you can say Java profilers, C++ profilers, C# profilers. So they give internal details about how the code, when it runs, uses memory, how it uses CPU, etc. That's called white box testing. We are going to predominantly see black box testing because that is part of system testing, part and parcel of system testing. I'm glad that you guys asked this question. Good. Okay. Shall we proceed? Okay.